So today is our 9th day of notes for chapter 7. For some reason in your notes packet it doesn't have this heading, so just go ahead and find this example. This is where we're going to start today. So we didn't get to all of our examples yesterday, but the good news is the ones that we didn't get to are pretty much the same thing as this. They were just written in a chart. So now we're just going to jump right into the word problems because that's realistically how you'll see them. So example 1 says, a price decreased from 25 to 18. Find the percent of the decrease. So what we're going to do...
No. Oh, no, it's because it had the original price is 18.
All right, so what I want to do is make sure, like we talked about yesterday, that when you're setting up this proportion, whatever you're talking about in each slot, that has to stay the same from one ratio to the other. The bottom is always the original, or the whole thing. And then the top is what we're talking about. In this particular problem, we're talking about the decrease. So are we going to use 25 or 18? We're going to use neither of those. Good job. I tried to trick you. What we're actually going to use is the amount of the decrease. If we want the percent of the decrease here, we need the amount of the decrease here. So if it goes from this to this, the 25 is my original. But what's the amount of my decrease? 7. And you get 7 by taking the original minus the new price. That's how much the price went down. That's what will give us our percent of the decrease. And the cool thing about this proportion is that since it already puts it over 100, we don't need to do any decimal jumping. It already takes care of that by making it that ratio over 100. Okay? So I'm going to cross multiply. I get 25x equals 700. And then we divide both sides by 25.
28.
And we get 28. Very good. So the percent of the decrease here is 28%. What are your questions? All right, example 2. A price increases from $30 to $35. Find the percent of the increase. Now, while we're talking about these, I saw this thing on Amazon the other day. Have you ever clicked on the button that says like price history? You can see how the price is fluctuating. I don't know why the prices are going up and down. I'm sure I could, supply and demand, sure, yes, very good. But it'll say on there, it gives you a table like, this costs $10, then it costs $12, then it costs $8, then it costs $16. And it will show you the percent of how much they'll calculate this for you on Amazon. Look next time you're buying something on Amazon. It's pretty cool. It's, they do a lot of the math for you, a lot of the thinking about it. All right, but back to example 2. The price increases from 30 to 35. Find the percent increase. So I'm going to set up that same old proportion. The originals go on the bottom. What's the original price? 30. If it went from this to that, the from, that's our original. Now, what sort of things am I talking about on the top? The increase. So I want the amount of the increase. If it went from 30 to 35, what's the increase amount?
55. I don't know. I just asked to go.
If you go from 30 to 35, 5. And then what goes above the 100? X. Cross multiply. What's 5 times 100?
500.
500. What's 30 times X? 30X. What's 500 divided by 30? 16 2/3. So 16 2/3%. What are your questions? All right, so Kate is buying a sweater, right? So $38.25 after it has been marked down 15%. What was the original price of the sweater? Okay. This is a good one. So we don't know the original, right? So that's my X. So up top, we don't know what the discount is, right? But we do know the discount percent. So we don't know the same amounts. Like we have to know the same thing to put those into this proportion. So if we knew the discount amount, we could put in the discount percent. We don't know the discount amount. What do we know?
No, we know the price.
We know the price she paid. Do we know the percent of the original price that she paid?
Yeah.
What?
15.
She got 15% off. So she paid 85% of the original. Whoa.
You lost me.
Let me try it again. So the top numbers have to be referring to the same thing. So if we put discount percent here, we need to know how much they subtracted from the price here. We don't know that. If we knew that, we wouldn't have to do this whole thing to begin with. We just add it to that number and that would be the price. We don't know that. We know how much she actually paid. So we need to think about what percent of that price she paid. Well, if you pay the original price, how much is that? What percent? If you pay the original price, you're paying 100%. She didn't pay the original price. She paid 15% less than the 100% price, which is what? 85%. So she's paying 85% of the original price, because the original price would be 100, but they took away 15%, and then that left you with 85%.
That was very confusing.
No, it wouldn't. It would have been easier if it said you take.
Y'all just smart.
Well, I want you to know why you're taking it.
Minus the percent she got off. That would be the percent she actually
Right.
paid.
Yep. Okay.
That was very
How do I do this?
Then we don't have to move the decimal.
False multiple.
You do not have to move the decimal. You are correct. It already divides it by 100, so it kind of does that part for you. So we need to cross multiply. When you cross multiply and you multiply by 100, you're just moving the decimal back 2 spots. Use the old jump trick. So what I need to do is 3,825 divided by 85 equals 45. So the original price was $45. If you want to check this, you could find 15% and then subtract that from 45 if you want. That's a way to check it. Or you could check to see if that really is 85. You know, if the amount she paid really is 85% of that number. You could do that too using the equations we wrote yesterday. Like, what is 85% of 45? And if it's not 38.25, you did it wrong. That's just if you want to check yourself. To avoid wrecking yourself. Yes. Any questions? All right, here's example 4. A price of an item plus 6% tax is equal to $450.50. Find the original price. So, original goes where? Bottom. I'm looking for the original. That's my variable. Now, we know the total price that she paid. Do we know the total percent that she paid?
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
6%.
90. Oh, that's 90.
Hold on. Whoa.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was right.
106%.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, when you buy something,
Oh, plus.
yeah, when you buy something, they add the tax to the price.
You right.
She didn't get a discount, so she paid the 100% of the original, plus she paid the 6% in tax. This is one of my favorite tricks when I'm in the store, because are you ever like, oh, I got a 20 and this is like 1905, like, what's the sales tax? You can do this real quick, just times 0.06, 1.06, that'll give you what you should pay when you're there. If it's a 6% sales tax, it depends what county you're in. That's neither here nor there. But
What's the sales tax for
I would have to look it up. It changes like every election, it changes.
What?
So I usually do about 7%. Like at McDonald's, I can pretty much, it's going to be 7% at the Columbia McDonald's. It's by county.
Is it already really high?
Yeah, St. Clair County's pretty high. Yeah. It won't be 13%. I don't know. I can Google it later. Okay, let's finish this one though. So do you all know why it's 106? Because you're paying the 100 for the price of the whatever this is, plus the 6% for the tax. Okay. Shh. Shh. Now the real fun begins. Let's cross multiply. Okay, again, that's just going to cause our decimal to go back 2 spots, so we can do 45050 divided by 106, 425. So the original price is $4. I wish $425.
Dang, so they got a $25 tax?
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, you think for every $100 you're paying $6 in tax.
That's a lot of money.
I know.
So if you don't spend over $100 in a month,
You still have to pay tax, but this doesn't work out that nice and neat.
Wait, so if you spend $50...
That's why, so if you're making a really big purchase like a car, or here's a really weird one, when you're older you'll get it. We were replacing all the doors in our house.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to the different Lowe's and we compared the sales tax, and there was one like way out in Kirkwood that had like a 1% sales tax difference, which doesn't sound like that much. But we were spending like hundreds of dollars on like 15 new doors for our house. And we went there. Yeah, and think of all the doors in your house. On the inside, not on the outside. On the inside. Like a bathroom door, the closet door, the bedroom door, the other closet door, inside the bedroom door. We got all new doors.
why?
I don't know, because my husband has a thing for doors. But you can shop around for sales tax because when you're making that big of a purchase, it does matter. Cool story. Any questions on this particular problem?
So 1% of...
Okay. Maria bought a new tennis racket for $80. She also had to pay sales tax of 5.5%. What was the amount of tax that she paid? So, original goes on the bottom. That's the 80. We're looking for the amount of tax she paid. So I'm going to only talk amount of tax up top. What was the amount of tax she paid?
5.5.
That's the
95.
percent of tax she paid.
No.
Ooh. X is the amount she paid. We don't know.
Oh, wait, what?
The percent of tax she paid is what?
105.5.
No, 105.5 would be how much she paid total.
Oh.
The amount of tax she paid is 5.5. So you got to be careful. You got to really read a few times.
Right.
All right.
I said wait.
So if it would have said like she paid $83.57, how much, like
Oh, that would be.
that's when it's the total tax and original. This is just the original, so we're looking for just the tax, so we just use the 1 point.
How come they don't put the tax in the price?
I don't know. All right, cross multiply and then divide by 100.
22.
And then this is money, so put that extra zero on the end, add your dollar sign.
20%.
So when you're finding discount price, you can do it two ways. I'm going to show you the way that I believe is easier. So if you have the original price, right, that's going to go on the bottom. Now it's pretty much given. Now, one way to do it is to do the discount percent on top. That would give you the discount amount on top, and you could subtract that from the original price. To me, that's too many steps, okay? If you're getting 20% off, how much are you paying? 80%. So I'm going to look at it from that way instead. That if I want the price paid, I'm going to put the percent paid. If I'm looking for the price that was deducted, I'm going to put the discount percent. Okay? So look at what they're asking you to find, and that's the percent you want to use. Okay? So if she's getting $20 off, and we're looking for the price of the item after the discount, we're going to put the percent after the 20% was taken away from the 100%. Does that make sense? She's paying 80% of the price because she's getting 20% off. If you do the 80, then your X will be your final answer. If you put the 20 in there, you would subtract that amount from the original and you'd still get the right answer, okay? Cross multiply. I'm going to speed up the math for us. This is just calculator work. You end up with $236.76. Okay? You guys are all really good at cross multiplying, so I sort of breezed by that little step. Do you want me to go in more detail with that?
No.
Okay. The hard part is setting up the proportion. Okay. I'm not going to summarize this until tomorrow because tomorrow we're picking up right where today stopped. So it's just a continuation of the notes, but they do have separate assignments.